What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. This video is very important because I'm going to describe why knowing your body fat percentage, if you could know this key metric, it would unlock your rate of progress. And once again, as a basic primer, your body fat percentage is the amount of fat that you have relative to everything else, so your non-fat mass, of which a portion of that is your skeletal muscle mass. But some people assume the muscle mass, it just goes fat mass and muscle mass. Of course, you have organ tissue, you have your bones, you have a wide variety of different things. Pretty much everyone you see online that talks about their body fat percentage is either A, lying, or B, heavily misinformed, because body fat percentage is one of the most misunderstood topics. And this becomes extra pronounced in the industry when people are just touting numbers. They're like, I'm 8% body fat. Well, how do you know? You're using the eye test. The eye test actually is inaccurate, as we'll discover. I had the opportunity, nay, the privilege, to go to arguably the most advanced place to test your body fat in North America. Shout out to Dr. Grant Tinsley, who is currently conducting very important research as it relates to body comp and other things. But his facility that he has at Texas Tech, we had access to equipment that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. We ran every single body fat assessment tool pretty much available. We could break down every single facet of your body. There's still a margin of error like anything else, but the different assessment tools are weighed, right? So you have that bod pod, super interesting. I even managed to find out there's a separate from my BMR where they did that test. Bioimpedance, there's different levels of this, of how much they could cost. Some 3D imaging scanning for our body in order to model where the fat is, where the muscle is. The DEXA, which shoots essentially x-rays through your body so you can find out your bone density. Fun fact, side note, your boy right here, 4.8 standard deviations higher than normal. Just call me the Elephant Man. Thank you, Deadlifts, for assisting in high bone density.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And then what he did a 6-compartment model in order to analyze it and come up with both myself and my hunky colleague, Eric Helms, our body fat, where we're holding it, how it's distributed, and as well as interesting things such as our muscle mass, our bone density. So a lot of different things that we'll unpack once again in this video. Let's do a little test right here. Let's put up my hunky colleague once again, Eric Helms, and I just want you to guess what his body fat percentage is. Now, if I was to ask you this question, does that look like 17% body fat to you? Hopefully you say, no, it doesn't. He looks less than that. He clearly looks less than that. If you've been doing this for a while, we all know this. But the most widely available at-home body fat tool measured him at 17% body fat.
And then has you at 17.0% body fat.
I knew this diet was working.
There are other measurement tools that they use at the facility, not to weigh into the final result, but just out of curiosity, like what's commercially available. Once again, bioimpedance, hold on the electrical current that runs through you. Now keep in mind afterwards, we did the DEXA scan.
In terms of how this technique works, you can see under the table, there's this large portion that actually contains the X-ray source. Well, the X-ray source will be emitting dual photon energy through your body, and it will be received by this arm. It's looking at pixels that contain bone versus those that don't. And the reason why it can distinguish between these things is these different tissues attenuate or sort of slow down the X-rays to different degrees.
And with Eric, it could break down your trunk, so your torso region, your upper body from your lower body. And what it found that in his trunk region, by its estimation, he was sitting at around 6-point-something% body fat in his core. But interesting enough, when we take a look at his lower body, it was several percentage points higher. So his legs, he had about 11 or 12% body fat. It seems like in the lower body region. Most people will make the misconception of only evaluating the torso area. How lean do the abs look as a proxy of everything else? But people lose body fat in different places and at different rates. Enter big boy Omar, okay, the person on YouTube that's not afraid to take his shirt off against Larry Wheels, that's not afraid to say, you know what, I'm not gonna flex for this photo. So I weighed in at 181 pounds, okay, 181.3. I'm gonna show you some footage. I want you to guess for the surf clam what you think I was. And I was 13.7% body fat, which is in a way shocking, like I will admit that.
It had you at 13.7%. It had 13.7%. So
let's go.
Now one thing I will point out is across the spectrum, it does have you on the lower end.
Yeah.
Bod Pod had you down at 9.2.
We're here in Area 51. We knew too much, and now they're experimenting on us.
When I looked at myself and I told Grant there might be footage of that, when he said, hey, Omar, what do you think you're at?
I can listen this up like 16 to 18%.
And it came out at 13.7%. Eric the Hunk is 10.7% body fat, right? He looks phenomenal. And I'm 13.7 by this 6-compartment model, so only 3% difference. However, if we take a look at the torsos, there is over a 7% difference. So where my gut, I'm holding a lot of my fat in my gut, Eric, on the other hand, it's distributed more towards his legs. So if we're just using the eyeball test, I mean, Eric definitely looks leaner, but he looks more than 3% leaner, I would say, and I think that's a very fair assessment. So it becomes hard to evaluate, as we said before, your body fat percentage. As an advanced lifter, you know, you're only gaining 3 or 4 pounds at most of non-fat mass per year. You have to fight at a certain theoretical point in order to make progress. And I do not care who you are online. Pick your favorite natural athlete that you even think is natural and take a look at the rate of progress. Oh my God, I built 10 pounds of muscle mass, right? Or I built 10 pounds. Alpha Destiny, I saw him several years ago and he's clearly made phenomenal progress since then. If I'd evaluate the amount of pure muscle that he's probably added in that time frame of 4 or 5 years, it's probably between 5 to 8 pounds. But that makes a tremendous difference in a physique. There is that grand delusion when we go on the bulk. Hey, I was guilty of that, okay? I was 18 years old. I went from 140 pounds to 215 pounds, and I thought I was 16% body fat. I was closer to 26% body fat. And some people, unfortunately, get stuck in that perpetual yo-yo system where they'll gain weight, gain extra fat, they'll attempt to lose it a year and a half later, lean down, and kind of look like the same version of themselves. And it actually becomes tragic because for them, they become frustrated over time. And so if we can know the body fat percentage, that would be a way of really tiering and analyzing, okay, this is quality weight or this is just weight that I'm gaining. Why is everyone inaccurate about their own body fat percentage? For 2 main reasons. They will evaluate their body fat either by the eyeball test, so they're just taking a look at their own physique or other physiques, and they know relatively because someone says they're this body fat, oh, that's what 7% looks like. But as we just discussed, taking a look at where Eric distributed his fat, some people hold on to their fat mass more in their legs or in their back, and really good physique coaches, like if I was to give Eric or Alberto Nunez or Cliff Wilson, like these top tier natural bodybuilding coaches of physique, I think they can get it within 2 to 3 percentage points, which is pretty damn cool. But for the average person, they're trying to evaluate based upon what other people are saying. So it's a case of broken telephone and not actually an accurate assessment tool. The second way that they would do it, some influencers, your favorite influencer, they do get their body fat assessed. Maybe they do get a DEXA scan, which I just said can be quite accurate. Now, unfortunately, there are ways of manipulating this. There are ways of basically skewing your assessment so it comes out more favorably for your body fat level. I'm not gonna get into this, like I said, for the video, but I'm always suspicious of certain individuals that claim certain things, especially when there's a vested interest. And that's why I am so grateful to Dr. Grant Tinsley, where they're bound by the ethical laws of the university to just report what they find. So the question becomes then, Omar, damn, you took me on this roller coaster. I just want to know, what should I do to evaluate my progress? How would I do it? Taking photos can be good if you have someone to tether you to some aspect of reality. The scale weight can be useful, but it's more binary than it is, let me really evaluate this. I joked before and I said, you know, using measurement tools, like a lot of people like to fixate, hey, like arm measurement, let me measure this. Well, we all know from your average guy when they claim certain measurements using a measurement tape, how wildly inaccurate that can be. Let me just say that when you do the arm measurement, you can make it tight, you can make it loose, you could move it up or down the bicep, many different things that I think we want repeatability when we test something out. And so I think the one place I would encourage people to measure would be their waist. If that is expanding at a considerable rate, that's probably not quality weight that you're adding. I think basically you need to weigh a couple different variables and measure each of them over time. And the one that isn't sexy, but I come back to consistently, would be your progress in the gym. And I know some are like, oh, Omar, you're a powerlifter. Like, what are you talking about? Not everyone cares about lifting more weight. Yeah, lifting more weight is but one metric, but progressive overload, the idea of essentially getting better over time, falls within the realm for hypertrophy also. So if you're using a weight and suddenly you're doing 12 reps instead of 10 reps, and 10 reps was at RP 10, you went to failure, now you're doing 12 reps, that is progress. If you're lifting more repetitions or better form, or let's say the set duration is longer, all these different ways of evaluating how you're making progress in the gym, that's a very good sign. I mean, if you're losing weight and you're seeing some of those markers, that's a phenomenal sign. I mean, I saw Mike Israetel, his channel, shout out to Mike, where he said the exact same thing, that progress in the gym is basically the de facto benchmark of how you're doing overall in your fitness journey. Are you building muscle? Are you getting stronger? Are you getting leaner? And so taking a look at the quality of your workouts over time is a thing I would still say most people should focus on. So I want to give a huge thank you to Dr. Grant Tinsley for allowing us access to these highly advanced assessment tools to get a more accurate read on what our body fat assessment was, because a few different disclaimers. As you know, I said before, and I'll be making a video on this, last year and a half, haven't been able to take my training as seriously, a little bit of injury, really focusing on business, a lot of different things, but I've lost some muscle mass and I've gained some fat mass compared to my peak, I'd say in 2021, right? About a year from now, I will go back to Texas Tech. I will get that evaluated. And fortunately for me, that is a way to really say emphatically once again, did I build some muscle? And we're going to see what an advanced lifter can do as I recoup old muscle that I had previously, as well as build new muscle. So I know that was a long, winding video all about body fat percentage, what it really means, its value in the industry, why people get it wrong, what you can really use in terms of measuring your rate of progress. But this is what you need over time, because in ways, honestly, like I said before, it's not this really enticing journey, the fitness journey of getting better. It's taking some measurements, it's evaluating them, it's taking a look at your gym, what you're doing, the lifts that you're doing, and just seeing, okay, is it headed in the right direction over time? And you do that for years and years on end, and my God, you're going to make a lot of progress. Anyways, that's all I had to say in this video today. Thank you so much for watching another video. If you liked the video, you can like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.
So Bod Pod was not 17.5%, but was actually single digit, 9.9. Squeaked into single digits there.
Big Hoss, can I get a spot? Yeah, I got you, Big Hoss.
Rascal Apparel just got bolder with our new limited edition Acid Wash jorts. Coming in 5 brand new colors. Pale blue, black, magenta, blue, and stone gray. For men, women, and big hosses alike. Rascal jorts, available now.
Jorts!